Daniel's paying attention to I'm not recording. Thank you, Daniel. All right. Yesterday, I had a couple people ask me to post the notes that we have so far for the Cliff Dwellers. So I did post those for you. They're right here on Wednesday. They're here for yesterday. So if you are missing anything from your notes for whatever reason, you were absent, you didn't come to school yet, you just didn't write it down, this is your opportunity to catch up on those notes. Are going to get taken down. These notes are not going to stay up to take that test. So if you're missing anything from your notes, you got to get in there and get it copied down. Yes, Michael. What's up, Michael?
Is it gonna rain today?
I don't know, Mike. Don't have psychic powers. All right. So what we need to do is add some rain here. So if you haven't found your notes yet, get them out. Find them, find them, find them. Elmo's not happy with that restart. We got to give him a second. You can do it, buddy. You can do it. There we go. Hey, Leo, good job. Did it work to turn it off? You're back alive? I think so. All right, let's plug this in.
So Bentley went to go join my meeting. I just saw it just popped up. I'll go tell him to go.
Go there and bring him back.
Okay.
That's what happens when you're not listening to anything Ms. Tyner says. You think class is over. All right, we are going to see if we can get Elmo working. Okay, Michael, I need you to get up and get your notes, please.
Get them out of here.
All right. So we left off. We were talking about these kivas here. There we go. Good drawings about that because we are all really, really good artists, especially Miss Tyner. That fire, for example, does not look anything like a baseball mitt. It looks exactly like a fire, right? It's beautiful. I'm glad I don't have people in there. Okay, so are we ready? We're going to take notes for about 15 minutes. We'll fill out planners, and that'll be it for today. When we were talking about kivas the other day, who remembers something about what we were talking about kivas? We were looking at some pictures, and we drew this really cool diagram. And who remembers something about the kivas that we talked about before, you guys? Can you give me some information about them? What do you remember? Maddie, I see your hand. Go, girl.
They were all connected.
No, kivas aren't connected. The pueblos are connected. Okay, if you're talking about these houses where they're all connected together, yes. But the kivas are not. The kivas are the big holes in the ground that you thought might be hot tubs. Oh, there she goes. Now she remembers. Okay, so what do you remember about these, you guys? What do you remember from our discussion? We talked for a long time. Hey, Jonathan, you did it. Woo, woo. Good job, Jonathan. What do you remember?
That they would use them as like places to just hang around.
Yeah. One time when I was at Mesa Verde, you guys, they kind of described a kiva like a living room. They're like, yeah, it's a place where everybody just kind of hung out together. Amara, I see your hand. What do you remember?
There was little holes in the ground.
Yeah, there were little holes in the ground. And we thought that word was very funny. And I think it was Jonathan thought that was where they pooped. But thank goodness they didn't, because it was just a very small hole. And that would have been a big pile of poop if somebody tried to poop in there. But yes, it was called a sipapu. Amara, do you remember what it represented to them?
No.
Does anybody remember what it
I do.
What did that sipapu represent?
It meant it.
Go ahead, Jonathan.
It represented the religion.
It represented their religion. And what did they believe? What was it representing?
Oh, can I say?
Yeah, go ahead.
That they thought that they were from the ground.
Yeah, they believed that they came from the earth. You guys remember we talked about that, right?
Yeah.
We talked about how that might seem a little weird, but that it's important to be respectful of people's different beliefs, because the things that a lot of us believe don't make a lot of sense either. right? Those of us who are pretty religious in some way, you guys believe that like there was a talking snake in Adam and Eve's garden and there was an apple and that Eve was made from Adam's rib bone. That doesn't really make a lot of sense either if you really think about it. Has anybody ever seen a talking snake?
Yeah.
Anybody?
I know someone who has.
Okay, that's scary, John.
Yeah, in Harry Potter. He's
Harry Potter, yes.
in Harry Potter. No, in Harry Potter.
Other than Harry Potter. So when we think about other people's beliefs and how they might seem a little strange to us, it's always important to remember that we have some strange beliefs too. So we want to be respectful. So they believed that humans came from the earth, and that was what the Sipapu represented. Sipapu. Ha, Miss Tyler said poo. What was this going on over here? Do you guys remember anything about this air vent thing that we were talking about in this illustration? Do you remember?
No. Yeah, I remember.
I see Maddie's hand. I see Jonathan's hand. I need somebody who I haven't heard from yet. What was going on with that air vent? What's going on over there? The stick gods are going to choose for you. They choose Hade. Hade, I bet you remember something. Hade, what do you remember about that?
That it brings the fresh air.
Yeah. Perfect. It brings the fresh air. Hade, why did they need fresh air in there?
To either make the fire bigger or smaller.
Yeah, so the fire is using up the oxygen. We talked about how fires use oxygen when they burn, which is why firefighters tell you to cover up a fire, right? You see sometimes firefighters like stomping on fires. What they're trying to do is take the air away from that fire to smother it. So the fire is burning up the oxygen, and also Bentley and Christian and Aaliyah, who are all hanging out in here, they are also using up the oxygen. So because the cliff dwellers were really smart, which they really, really were, because they did not have the internet to look this up, they had to come up with this on their own. They made these air vents that allowed the oxygen to come in through a hole. What was this thing for? This green little wall for? Remember when we were looking at those pictures? What was that there for? Why was that wall there?
If the wall wasn't there, all the oxygen would go to the fire.
And it would do what?
Suffocate them. Want to die?
Yeah.
What happens when you blow out your candles on your cake?
Oh, the air would go straight through the fire.
Yeah, we'll blow the fire out.
Yeah.
Right? But instead, because this wind blocker was here, the air would kind of hit it and then kind of go around the fire. Right? Like if you put your hand in front of your candles and then blew, they'd probably be okay. Leo, I saw your hand. Were you going to tell us something else?
Go and grab again.
Same thing. Okay. All right. So I want to move on from our kivas for a second, you guys. I want to remind you that where they're living now is inside the alcoves, but they're not living in pit houses anymore. Remember, they've advanced to these Pueblo style houses, but now they've moved them down into the alcoves. Is everybody with me? We talked about that a lot yesterday. Everybody's good? That was paying attention yesterday. We still remember today? Okay, on to the next phase, okay? Here we go, ready? New information. We've got our little bullet point. We're gonna write this down because we're gonna want it on our test, okay? So we're gonna say, because they were such good farmers, cliff dwellers and
My pencil.
surplus. I don't know that.
I think that was another part of that new turkey.
Because they were such good farmers, cliff dwellers had surplus food. Okay, now, what do you think that word could mean? Look at that sentence. They're really good farmers, so they had surplus food. What do you think that word surplus could mean? It's a weird word. Hadi, I see your hand. Go ahead, honey.
Maybe it means like plant
food?
Yeah, they had definitely had food from plants. They had crops, right? We talked about 3 main crops they had, which was corn and beans and squash. They had definitely food from plants. Perfect. But that's not exactly what that word surplus means. Anybody know what it means? What do you think? Leo, I see your hand. What do you think it means?
Like more than enough.
Yes, Leo, more than enough. I love it when you raise your hand, Leo. I'm going to put that in parentheses. More than enough. Now, most of us, we have surplus food at our house. I'm going to guess that in most of our houses, you have a cabinet or a pantry or a shelf in the garage where your family has extra food, extra sugar, extra cans of beans, extra cans of whatever, like some extra granola bars where if you needed a snack, you could go and grab one. Most of us have extra food in our houses. We don't just have the food in our house that our family is going to eat for dinner tonight. We have extra food in our houses, right? Okay, fancy word for that is surplus. You could ask mom, hey mom, can I go get one of the surplus granola bars? Just kidding, don't say that, she'll be annoyed. Okay, so surplus means extra. You guys, this is a big thing because humans now have gone from wandering around trying to just find food to eat that day all the way to having extra food. They've never had this before. The cliff dwellers are doing a really good job at life. They are doing things well. They've got nice houses and they've got nice farms that are making so much food that they have extra. That's never happened before. They would hide their extra. They stored their extra food above their home. So if we look at the pictures of the cliff dwellings, and I'll take you back to look at one in just a second, they had these little shelves almost up above the cliff dwelling in the top of the alcove where they would store their extra food. Because that way animals couldn't get into it and all that kind of stuff. It would stay kind of safe. They didn't have a pantry or a garage like you do. They had to store it up in a little crack.
Bears can get in.
I didn't.
Oh, no, they can't climb it.
What did you say? Was that you, Jose? What did you say?
I said bears can get in, but I said, oh, bears can't climb
Yeah, that would be
that
hard.
whole mountain.
That would be hard to get up there. Let's see what happens if I do this. Not cliff dwellers, Steiner. Cliff dwellers. Hold on, let me find it for you. You guys are always surprised by how fast I can type and then I make all my mistakes. See if I can find you a good picture of this. There's a good one. All right, share my screen with you. Here we go. There's one thing Miss Tyner's learned. It's don't share screen while doing a Google search. Okay, can you see my screen? Yes? Okay, do you see over here in this picture right here? You can see my cursor, right? See my little arrow? You see how they're cliff dwelling down here? Okay, and then do you see this little crack up here in the top of the alcove? You see how you can see that they've built a little wall up there? You can see the little door, the little window right there. That was where they stored their food, their extra food. They stored it in the cracks up there above the cliff dwelling. That's pretty cool. Yesterday we were talking about how the cliff dwellers would have had their houses, the bricks would have been covered over with adobe and it would have looked smooth. Do you remember when we were talking about that yesterday? When you look at this picture, can you guys see that? You can tell that there are bricks under there, but can you see what happens if I click on it and make it bigger? But can you see that it looks smooth over the top? You see, you can see that the bricks are in there. Like, look, you can see the bricks right there. You guys see them right there? But you can see that they've covered over the bricks with the adobe. So it's all nice.
We see. Oh, no, I see it.
You see it, Jonathan? So you can see the bricks are
I see it,
there. but you can also see how it's covered over with that adobe. You see that?
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. Like that one picture that you guys looked at where they had painted on the inside of the window. Remember that one we looked at? Like that. Pretty cool. All right, I'm gonna go back over here, see what else we can get written down. Okay, so there you go. Because they were such good farmers, the cliff dwellers had surplus food, and Leo told us that meant more than enough. They stored their extra food above their homes. All right, one more piece of information and you're good for today. Are you ready? I'm gonna share my screen with you so you are with me. Here you go. All right, here we go. They stored their extra food above their homes. Okay, now, everybody ready?
Yeah.
Okay, the cliff dwellers were doing very well. Cliff dwellers were doing very well. We're going to add some details about why. Okay. So one thing that was going really well for them was they had their nice, safe houses. So remember that they're living in those Pueblo style houses and they're living in the alcoves. Daniel, I need you to be writing this down, honey, like everybody else. Good job, good job. I'm sorry, Daniel. Sometimes it looks like you're not writing anything down because you're writing on your lap. I still love you. Thank you. Apparently, I'm not even gonna try. All right, so got that written down. It says the cliff dwellers were doing very well. They had nice, safe houses. What else did they have going on that was looking really good? Maddie, I see your hand. What do you think?
They had a lot of extra food.
They had a lot of extra food. Great. Okay, I'm gonna put that down. Lots of extra food. Okay, so things are looking really good for them. They've got nice, safe houses. They've got lots of extra food. Polo, make sure you're writing it down. Keep going, Polo. Come on, Bentley.
Oh, their crops are growing very well.
Crops are growing well. I'm gonna put that right here. Good crops. Okay. Now, because things are going really well, a couple things happened. Okay. I'm going to go down a line. I'm going to say, because of this, come on, Bentley. Two things happened. Number one, less people died. Because of this, less people died. Does that make sense? If I have good food and I have a nice house, I'm not gonna die as quickly. Now you guys, the cliff dwellers only lived to be like 25 years old, maybe 30. They had some rough lives, but they were living longer. Less people died. And also, more babies were born. So less people died, more babies are born. Okay, now this sounds like a good thing, right? But what's gonna happen if I have less people die?
The wives are gonna have way more work.
Amara, I see your hand. What do you want to tell me? What's gonna happen?
They're gonna have to move somewhere else because there's too much people.
There's going to be too many people. Now, Mara, why do you say they're gonna have to move somewhere else?
Because there's gonna be enough room for more houses.
Okay, guys, they live in a cave. Can they like knock out a wall and make more space in the cave?
Yeah.
No, they're kind of stuck, right? Okay, so I'm gonna add on here, because of this, less people died and more babies were born. This means more people Now that seems like a good thing. It seems like, okay, they're doing really well. They're not dying. Their babies are surviving. They have food. They have nice houses. This all sounds like a good thing, except Amara is pointing out it actually might turn out to be a bad thing because now I have too many people. Okay? So we're going to talk about what happens to them next because obviously they don't still live there, right? When we look at pictures of these places, nobody's living there anymore. I would like to live there because their houses look super cool. However, nobody lives there anymore. So we got to figure out what happened to them. Okay. All right. I'm going to stop my share with you. You guys did a great job. We got to get our planners out and get stuff written down in there because it's 10:45. You did a great job today. Let's get planners out. Let's get them done. Hey, Miss Wallace. No. All right. We are filling out our planners. Here we go, here we go, here we go. We are on October 8th. All right, I'm waiting for you to find your planner. Good job, Bentley. Braxton's ready. Hattie looks ready. Here we go. Dan, you're doing a great job today. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are on Thursday, October 8th. Thursday, October 8th. Okay, we've got 4 things that need to get turned in today, ladies and gentlemen. Can you tell me? Yes, Valeria, I can show you the notes again after planners. Yes. Can you tell me one thing that's got to get turned in today? Montserrat, I see your hand. What's one thing that's going to get turned in today?
Lesson 12 homework.
Lesson 12 homework. So for math, we've got lesson 12 homework. If I want help with my lesson 12 homework, where am I going to be? Where shall I be?
Office hours.
Office hours. I had so many people in office hours yesterday. It was like a party. Let me tell you how many people we had yesterday. I was kind of excited about it. Mr. Seaver. We had Amy, Bentley, Billy, Braxton, Daniel, Jose, Maddie, Michael, Natalie, Polo, and Wyatt. Party. All right, so if you want help with that, add your name to that list. Okay, what else needs to get turned in today, ladies and gentlemen?
Journal.
Amy, what do you remember? Oh, Bentley said journal. Thank you, Bentley. Journal. Amy, what were you going to say?
Mr. Seaver's circuit training.
Mr. Seaver's workout. Okay. And one more thing. What was the last thing for today, guys? Maddie?
The last chapter of Harry Potter.
Last chapter of Harry Potter, chapter 18. Tomorrow, we're going to take the AR test on that book. Okay, that's going to be your assignment for Harry Potter for tomorrow. Okay, Harry Potter chapter 18. All right, what did we do today in class, ladies and gentlemen? What did we do today in class? Remember, we cleared our, what was that called? Cache. Cleared our cache. Thanks to Mr. Rose. Cleared cache. That's what he called it anyway. And you all made it back on. I was very impressed. Okay, what else did we do today? Montserrat?
Did you guys already say math?
We didn't say math yet, Jose. Math. And today we were multiplying decimals. Montserrat, what were you going to say, hun?
Cliff dwellers.
Cliff dwellers. Okay, reminders for tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday. What am I going to remember?
Tiger shirt.
Hi. Take my take.
Bentley and Daniel, you're the hardest ones because you're not at home. So make sure you remember. Tiger.
Okay.
Because we got to beat
Or
Mr.
just
Seaver.
green in general.
We can all see our display up here. We have to beat Mr. Seaver, correct? I don't like to lose. You guys know this. Yes? We have
Like to win.
shirts. We can win. All right. Tiger shirt. It is also a mini day tomorrow. What we talked about means that there won't be office hours. Okay, that's how we're gonna make it mini, right? We just won't have our afternoon meeting. And on a Friday, that's okay.
Will you write turn in your work down there?
Huh?
Because we need to turn in our work, because if we don't, we aren't going to get a short day.
He wants us to remember to turn.
So no office hours?
Tomorrow. Today there is office hours, Braxton. Be there, okay? Okay, today there is office hours. Tomorrow there is no office hours. No office hours tomorrow. I will be there today to do math with you, just like every other day.
Every other day.
Well, thank God this is on Friday.
What's up, Ashton? What'd you say, honey?
I said I hope Friday we will have to take math note pictures.
Yeah, Friday math note picture is a pretty sweet deal. I'm glad you like that, Ashton. All right, y'all, that's all I've got for you today. Valeria asked me to put the ClickFunnels notes back up, so I'm going to put that back up. If you are missing that, it'll be here. Jose and Michael, remember that you are staying on to get work done today. So Jose and Michael, I should still see you there. Everybody else, you're free. Valeria, here with the page we were writing on.
Bye.
There you go.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Hey, Valeria, I'm going to stop my share for just a second so I can stop recording, okay?